Hi guys, welcome to Flying Tip Academy. Today we are going to discuss DevOps and introduction to cloud computing. Let us discuss what is DevOps and what is the cloud computing. In basic terminology, a network is a interconnection of autonomous computers where you can able to exchange the data between two or more computers. And here, if you are going to see the diagram, you can able to classify the network into different types: LAN, MAN, WAN, and PAN. LAN stands for Local Area Network, MAN stands for Metropolitan Area Network, WAN stands for Wide Area Network, and PAN stands for Personal Area Network. Here, if you are going to see the LAN, you are going to connect within the local area, within the premises like office, building, or some other organization. Here, you are going to connect a particular system to system. Interconnection will happen by using a twisted pair coaxial cable, or you can able to use a category 6 Ethernet cable. By using those cables, you can able to interconnect the system with another system through an IP address. The next one is Metropolitan Area Network, so where you are going to connect a different particular buildings. For example, here you are going to consider a particular building which is having a different departments. For example, you are having a departments like CSC, ECE, Civil, and some other branches. You are going to connect a particular thing by using a Metropolitan Area Network. So where you can able to divide a particular virtual LANs, VLANs, so that you can able to connect one network to the another network. So this can be used by government agencies, use MAN to connect to the citizens of private industries, and you can able to use LAN to connect each other by using a telephone exchange. It is having a higher range than local area network. The next one is wide area network. They use it to cover wide area, for example, cities, states, and countries. So this is the bigger network compared to LAN and MAN, and which is going to span over a large geographical area through a telephone line, fiber optic, or satellite links. The internet is one of the biggest WAN in the world. By using the internet, you can able to connect the World Wide Web, and you can able to access all the websites by using the HTTP protocol. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. The next one is personal area network, where you can able to connect a n number of devices by using a Wi-Fi modem, printer, scanner, and some other devices. This can be used by a person by using the within the range of 10 meters. If you are using a infrared, it will be having a very short distance, and Bluetooth is the next advancement of infrared rays, and you can able to use the Bluetooth within the certain limit. And if you are using the Wi-Fi, it uses the radio wave technology so that it can penetrate up to larger distances than Bluetooth. So we are going to use Wi-Fi in homes so that it can be connected to n number of devices. You can able to view print from the laptop by using a Wi-Fi, and you can able to use Bluetooth headset by using a Wi-Fi. The next one advancement of this particular network is distributed computing. In distributed computing, is a system is one the hardware or software components located at local network computers communicate and coordinate their actions only by message passing, so that you can able to pass a message from one computer to another computer by using this distributed computing. Distributed computing means there may be two or more servers which can be act as a master, and another computers will be acted as a slave, and but each and every client will feel that he is going to use the his own computer. So that here, if you are going to see the distributed computing program, which is going to split into parts and run simultaneously on multiple computers communicating over a network. Distributed computing is a form of parallel computing. It means a number of simultaneous tasks can be executed in a parallel manner without waiting for one particular task to complete. For that purpose, we are using a distributed computing. Here, the diagram, if you are going to see the diagram, here we are having a 3 number of CPU which is sharing their memory and their resources over the communication network. So that if one particular system is down, the another particular resources are used to share the memory and the particular resources for a network systems which are browsing that particular server. The next one, if you diagram, if you are going to see the machine A, B, and C, which are having the distributed application, and the middleware is a service which is going to communicate by using XML or some other language, and where three operating systems are being shared in a network. The types of distributed computing are grid computing and cloud computing. So whereas grid is a shared collection of reliable and unreliable resources. So these are basically called as tightly coupled and loosely coupled machines and interactively communicating researchers of different virtual organizations. Example, biologists, doctors, or shopping. If you go to a hospital, you can able to see each and every particular system is independent, so that they are going to enter the stock which they have got, and based upon the patient information, they are going to update the table. If there are any medicines are near to expire, and that will the information will be getting near from the date, so that they can able to update the resources, or they can able to sell the medicines. Grid system controls and coordinates the integrity of the grid by balancing the usage of reliable and unreliable resources among the participants, providing better quality of service. If you are going to consider this one, some particular computer will be having a low configuration RAM, hard disk, and a network card, so that on some particular high computers will be having high configuration RAM, memory card, and all the things, and those are being shared by the grid. Grid computing is a method controls the power of many computers in a network to solve problems requiring a large number of processing cycles and involving huge amounts of data. Here, if you are going to see the grid computing, it is similar to the power station, grid power station. In grid power stations, what we are going to do is we are going to store all the power in a grid, and we are going to distribute the power to the several cities. In a similar manner, here also we are going to store the data in a server, two or more servers, and where we are going to balance the servers, and we are going to make the data available to the users. So here we are having a diagram of grid computing, where you are having a different classification of servers. One is web server, and another one is application server, and another one is database server. If you are going to see these particular servers which are independent of each other, if you are going to see the traditional computing, what we are going to do is we are going to have all the applications only in this single server, that is called as a single tier architecture. Here we are using a two tier architecture. In two tier architecture, where we are going to keep all the data independently of each other, so that web server is having a separate port number which is 8080, and it will communicate with the another server, where it is going to execute the task like DB2, like database server, which is going to execute their tasks. So here, if you are going to consider internet, the particular person who is using the particular system, he is going to connect by the internet, and he will be browsing a website by using a switch, and he will be connecting to the external firewall, and he will be browsing the website. If there are n number of simultaneous requests from multiple clients, here we are having a load balancer which can able to balance the application, so that one cannot be down. Here, if there are n number of simultaneous requests, or ping request has been attacked to the one single server, at that time the particular server will be crashed. Instead of doing that, one load balancer is going to manage the applications, so that if the particular number of packets are reaching the threshold, then it is going to redirect to the another server. So that in this type load balancing is going to maintain the tasks. The disadvantages of grid computing or resource sharing is further complicating when grid is introduced as a solution for utility computing, where commercial applications and resources became available as shareable and on-demand resources. For example, if you are going to consider on-demand resources, it means, for example, if you are going to see shopping applications like Flipkart or Amazon, they are going to have a big million days and great Indian festival. So in those days, they will be having a heavy discounts and also heavy traffic on that particular network. At that time, they need a load balancers so that it can able to manage without zero downtime. At that time, it cannot able to give on-demand resources. It means n number of servers if they need for a certain period of time, it is unable to deliver that service to the vendor. For that purpose, it is one of the disadvantage. The concept of commercial on-demand shareable adds new, more difficult challenges to the already complicated grid problem list, including service level features, accounting, usage mattering, flexible pricing, federated security, scalability, and open-ended integration. Here, if you are going to see the scalability means you can able to increase the size of the server. For example, here the size of the server, assume you are having a 1 terabyte of hard disk and 16 GB of RAM, which is used as a server in olden days. If you are going to consider the RAM is hard disk is getting full by the applications and your RAM is getting slowed down due to heavy usage, at that time what you are going to do? You need to purchase one more server and again you need to make it as a load balancing. Purchasing an additional server and keeping it away whenever not in use, it is going to more cost. For that purpose, uh, cloud computing allows the user to purchase whenever he is having a demand on demand. He will be using for 3 or 4 days. After that, whenever he is not required, he will be paying only that much of amount for that particular usage. Licensing across many servers take it prohibitive some applications. Vendors are starting to be more flexible with environment like this. So here we are going to migrating to the cloud computing in order to overcome this kind of issues. In cloud computing, it is a collection of services which create a platform. Basically, cloud defines which is not your computer. It means someone else's computer, but more realistically, it is a collection of services which create a platform. These services may relate to virtual servers, data storage, networking, machine learning, security, analysis, media services, databases, and more. Here, if you are going to consider a cloud computing, you are going to use certain kind of applications so in order to connect to the cloud computing. So here you will be using a web browser. By using a web browser, you can able to have a operating system in some other system. For example, you are having a hard disk with 1 terabyte and having a RAM 16 GB, and again your requirement has been changed and the latest updates from the market has been came. At that time you need a 32 GB of RAM, and previous operating system you are using is 64-bit and 128-bit operating system came, and the requirements are not met by your existing computer, and you need to change your processor, motherboard, all the things. Instead of doing it, so what you are going to do is you are going to uh, purchase all the account in the AWS or Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud or some other host or some other vendors which are going to provide the services. It means you can able to use the operating system, whatever the operating system you require, and you can able to use whatever the applications you are required, and you will be paying for that much of amount for that applications, and you will be paying for operating system. If you want to change the some migrate this one operating system to another operating system, you can easily migrate the data and as well as services. So for that purpose, we are using a AWS, Amazon Web Services, and Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud and some other providers. So here AWS holds 32% of the market, which is a large capacity of market is occupied by AWS. And Microsoft Azure is having a 19% of market. It is the second largest cloud service provider, and the Google Cloud holds 7% among the market. Close behind that, Alibaba is reached to 6% of the market, and all the other cloud service providers are occupying 36% of market. Here we are having a deployment models. The deployment models are public cloud, hybrid cloud, community cloud, and private cloud. In public cloud, here we are going to have a huge amount of available space which can be used by the public and translates easily to the scalability recommended for software development and collaborative projects. For example, where the data is being shared among publicly. The next one is private cloud. So this private cloud is used for organization to share the code and the content and their resources, usually residing behind a firewall, and they are utilized by the single organization recommended for business with very tight regularity requirements. So these are kept very secretly by the organization, which cannot be hacked by outsiders. The next one is hybrid cloud, where you are going to combine the public cloud with the private cloud to allow the two platforms to interact seamlessly, recommended for business balancing big data analytics with strict data privacy regulations. In hybrid cloud, for example, your code should not be shared by the others. So you will be keeping the data among the publicly, and you will be viewing whatever the content viewed by the user. Only the website will be shared as publicly. So this particular hybrid cloud provides both the things, public and as well as private specifications. So next one, community cloud. It is a collaborative and multi-tenant platform used by several distinct organizations to share the same applications. Users are typically operating within the same industry or field. So here a multi-tenant platform, it defines a number of people can able to use the resources. For example, you are having an apartment. Within the apartment, multiple number of tenants are going to pay the rent. In a similar manner, here also their particular server can be used by n number of clients. Next one is service models. Service models, we are having software as service, platform as service, and infrastructure as service. Software as service, which is provided for the end users. In software as service, you are going to consider, you are having a Google Drive. In Google Drive, you are going to upload the all the details, whatever the necessary files you are utilizing. So for example, if you are going to have a Microsoft 365, you can able to use all around the world 365 days, and you are having a Microsoft account, you can able to download that particular setup in your desktop, and you can able to use it among and save your documents in the cloud. Similarly, Google Documents, you can able to save all the documents in the cloud. And AWS Lambda, you can able to see in AWS Lambda and BStack, which is a platform as service, and we are also having a Microsoft Azure app and services, Google App Engine, Heroku, and OpenShift. So these OpenShift, which are used by the developers in order to share their resources. The next one is infrastructure of service. Infrastructure as service, which is going to created by the system administrators. These are Amazon EC2, Google Compute Engine, Microsoft Azure Virtual Machine, DigitalOcean, and OpenStack. Here, if you are going to consider infrastructure as service, for example, you are going to consider a civil engineer who is going to create a home for you based upon your requirements. In a similar manner, a particular administrator is going to design a particular infrastructure. Who are the developers, who are the testers, who are the
particular person belong to which category. For example, some people are working under the Python developer module and team, and people who are working in Java developer team, and who are working under some other full stack developer and some other thing. They are going to create it as some other teams. All the infrastructure, how the organization works, and how many servers are required, how to where the data need to be passed, and all the things will be done by the system administrator, which creates the infrastructure as service. So this is all about the cloud computing service model. Thanks for watching.